Welcome to another Regiment 1v1 battle. Yes, this will be the 5th Shock Infantry going up the other team, which is the 3rd Regiment of Foot. They will be playing as the UK, and I will be spectating the 5th Shock Infantry. Maybe all game if Strat shows up to cast the other side. Maybe he'll get in here pretty quickly before the game actually starts, but we'll be hovering over what is my regiment, actually, the 5th Shock Infantry. If you've seen the other video, if you haven't, I'll link it in the description. You can see my day one in a line battle, but right now we've got some shots being fired off by the 3rd Regiment of Foot, who are hiding and scattered throughout that little town. So this is going to be very, very interesting to see how the 5th guys, the Austrians, actually deal with it right now. They're just zigzagging around, making sure they avoid those shots. Looks like somebody got hit just here. I don't know who that is, obviously, because their name doesn't flash up, unfortunately, but they did get hit by a shot. We'll try and zoom around the house to see if the 3rd... There you go. There's a lot of the 3rd Regiment of Foot running back behind this house. I'm pretty sure it's 11 versus 11. Yes, it is. They're also running through nice urban fighting and a lot of melee fighting expected in this one. Guy pops around the corner. He won't take the shot, though, as he does not have a clear shot. Now, the 5th Shock Infantry is lining up here, going to try and fire some shots at the regiment. The 5th Shock Infantry have got 2 kills there, so it's now 11 versus 9 in favour of the 5th Shock Infantry, who are actually, obviously, superior in numbers now, as they just killed 2 people. So that's a little bit of Captain Obvious there, or thanks, Co-Captain Obvious. But here comes the 3rd Regiment of Foot. Maybe they're trying a little bit of a bayonet charge, because I don't think they would have reloaded in time. It was a very, very quick turnaround. They came charging out of the town. I think the 5th is trying to get some get some light cover to reload, but now they've turned around and they're charging back at these 3rd guys. There's one quick kill there by the 3rd Regiment of Foot, but now the melee battle is on. You can see guys falling everywhere. The 5th Shock Infantry get a kill, the 3rd get 2 kills, the 5th get another kill, and this is actually quite an even one. I can see more Shock Infantry guys out there right now. The 5th are definitely looking in the stronger position. It's 4 versus 5. They've got the numbers now. It's 3 versus 5, 4 versus 3, so even more interesting. 2v1 over in the background. It's 2v2 over here. Ooh. Bit of a turn right now. Ooh, no, it's 3 versus 2 still. So still the guy at the back is just being killed. So it's now 3-1. The 5th have the complete number advantage, and it looks like they might be taking out this one. There's a little bit of a fight to the death. The reinforcements are coming along, but it looks like the 5th are going to win this one. But I guess you can never count a guy out in this. I've seen one player take on about 4 different players. No, there you go. That's the first round. Welcome back to round 2, and the 5th Shock Infantry won the first one, so good job to them. And I'll actually go follow the 3rd Regiment of Foot. I probably should, maybe... No, Strat is now in, so I'll just follow the 5th Shock Infantry the whole time, as he's going to do the 3rd Regiment of Foot cast, and I shall link his channel, and I'm sure he will link mine as well. So if you're here watching the, after watching the 3rd Regiment of Foot, welcome. And welcome to round 2 as well, as now they're going to go on a bit of a different approach here. The 5th guys coming around that big tree that's obstructing my view completely, and we can't see any 3rd guys scattered throughout the town just yet. I'm sure they will start popping their heads up in the coming time, but I think the 5th guys are probably going to try and move around and maybe take some cover out here behind the rocks and try and fire off some volleys. They did very, very well in the first volley in the last round. They got the 2 quick kills that really put them in the driving seat to win the game. In the end, that 9-7 advantage ended up really helping them out. There's some shots here. They get 1 kill the 3rd, so very, very nice kill on Lupal. Unfortunately, he goes down. Another soldier of the 5th gets hit there, but now the 5th are all reloaded. The 3rd Regiment of Foot are trying to get away, and it looks like they might be able to duck away behind that house very, very nicely just there. There's another shot taken by some 3rd Regiment of Foot soldiers, and here we go. The corner-to-corner fighting. They fire as they come around the corner. The 5th Shock Infantry, jeez, it's just bayonets everywhere, but it looks like the 3rd Regiment of Foot have absolutely ambushed the 5th right now, and they have a huge numbers advantage. I think it's 5 onto... No, it's 6 versus... Oh, very, very nice there. They get 2 kills there, the 5th. That's very, very well played. It's 4 versus 5 in this little battle. There's also 3rd guys going around the back. It's 2 versus 3 out the back, and we've got the number advantage on this side to the 5th. Ooh, they line up in 3, so that is a legal rule. I'm pretty sure you've got to be in 3s to fight. It's now 2 versus 3, bayonet fight to the death. This is probably the more important battle because the 5th have the numbers on the other side, but there's still 3 more regiment soldiers out there. The third soldier sits out the back, but it looks like the 5th are winning this little engagement. Unfortunately, Peter Rogers, Rogers goes down to zero. It's 1 onto 6 by the look of it at the moment, if I do a quick count. There you go, the United Kingdom or the 3rd has won this round. Let's get ready for round 3. And round 3 begins in the 5th Shock Infantry, just running out the single files they usually do, not breaking off into 2 lines, maybe one flanking around the left, one flanking around the right, but I'm pretty sure this is the final round. I can't remember if there's any more maps. There's like 3 maps. I can't really remember off the top of my head. The last one I did, I missed the first map, so yeah, I was kind of a little bit kerfuffled. Is in the lineup that it usually takes. It looks like these guys are just going to run around a long line at the moment. I can see some 3rd guys in there. They're popping up between the houses. Oh, very good shot there by Madman in the 5th Shock Infantry, getting a kill on Captain Conroy. There you go. Rogers goes down again. He was shot, but on a rebound goes down. Oh, that's a big kill there. Apparently Rebound is good, or he keeps telling me. No, he doesn't tell me at all. He hasn't got a big head at all, Rebound. But no, he's a very, very good Napoleonic Wars player, as all players really in the 3rd Regiment of Foot, and also the 5th Shock Infantry. Another guy goes down for the Shock Infantry, so that means it's 10 versus 11 at the moment. So the 3rd Regiment of Foot do have that numbers advantage, and that is very, very crucial in the melee battles, because if you're trying to one-on-one, if you have the numbers advantage, obviously reinforcements would come in and just easily help tip the game in your favour. There's somebody saying watch the line, but I don't think that's really a problem. The Austrians are still taking shots off right now, the 5th. It's just more volleys between the town and the open cover. The guys in the town, which is the 3rd Regiment of Foot, obviously have the better cover at the moment, ducking behind houses every time they take a shot. There you go, you can see a couple guys on the left and the right. Nice kill there by Loophole, ends up squaring it up at 10-all now, so it's just 10-10, and it looks like we might just be seeing volleys until the end of this round. Some very, very good fire play is going to be needed. Some very, very good shots are going to have to happen if the 5th Shock Infantry especially are going to get off some kills, as they're just in a line, and the 3rd Regiment of Foot has a lot of houses to duck behind. I think there might be a guy hiding over in that right bush. I thought I saw a guy pop his head out, but no, it looks like the 5th Shock Infantry are just going to trade the shots. They're not really going to try and flank around the town at all, not trying to change up the angles. They're just going to duke it out with the 3rd Foot at the moment. There's shots going off everywhere. There you go. That's that little... I think there was 2 soldiers of the 3rd Regiment of Foot that popped out beside that house, and they're currently just trading off shots still, just shot for shot, fire at will. They're not firing in a full line volley, it's just reload and fire at the moment. Actually, it looks like some guys might be holding until they... Oh, they're probably holding until they get a good shot, because the 3rd Regiment of Foot are definitely hiding behind their houses. Beautiful shot there by Lieutenant Donut, taking out Mr. Sheath with a... I don't think it was a headshot, but that was a beautiful kill in the end. Nice long-range firing at the moment. Another 3rd Regiment soldier pops his head out, and Mush gets the kill. I think it was on that soldier who popped his head out. No, he comes back. They're trying to dart back around the buildings at 3rd Regiment of Foot, and I really actually want to go over there, have a bit of a look. I think I might, as Foz gets a kill on Pierre just there, so that was a little bit unlucky. And another kill by Donut. Jeez, I think it's 8-9, is it? Yes, it's 7 versus 9 right now. So the 3rd Regiment of Foot having a beautiful numbers advantage. Look at that cover usage by the 3rd Regiment of Foot. Jeez, I got a little bit tongue-tied there. It is a little bit cold, and everything right now is absolutely freezing. But there you go. You can see they're scattered behind the buildings. It's 9 versus 7, backing themselves in a melee fight. Maybe the 5th Shock Infantry, or they're going to line up behind this building and try and force the 3rd Regiment out, which is what the 3rd Regiment did to the 5th Shock Infantry last time. They made them come around the corner, just bayonet bonsai charge them, so that was very, very well played there by the 3rd Regiment of Foot. Somebody's trying to get some cover around the stairs. Unfortunately, no soldiers around there. They're going to advance around this side of the building. No, they're not. It looks like the 3rd Regiment of Foot is completely stacked up behind the building over there. They can pop out and see some 5th Shock Infantry soldiers. Yes, they are all behind that building, actually. And the 5th Shock Infantry decides to take off in a different direction. So we'll zoom around and follow them around the building. So trying to change up the angles a little bit. Maybe trying to catch them all out behind this house. They're moving around past the wheat field. Can they see the 3rd Regiment of Foot? Yes, they know they can't. So it looks like it's just going to be people running around different buildings until they finally find them. Oh no, there you go. The 3rd Regiment of Foot's there. The shots are all missing. No, the 5th Shock Infantry get 1 kill out of all that. I'm pretty sure there's a couple guys there. Yes! Enzo died. Enzo is notes, and he team killed me in the last game that I actually played with the 5th Shock Infantry, so I'm quite happy that Enzo or Notes has gone down, depending whether you're from the Men of War community or the Mountain Blade community. There's a lot of guys hiding in that wheat field trying to use this little wooden palisade again. I saw that in the last regiment game I casted. That was very, very well used by the 9th Vanguard. Unfortunately, the crew of the Flying Moonfish, not the Mountain Fish, got it correct and were able to melee them out of there, but 5th Shock Infantry wants a bit of a melee battle, but the 3rd Regiment of Foot is happy to just run around. Geez, that's a very close range, nice kill. And the 5th Shock Infantry is going to bayonet charge. I don't think they're going to have the numbers to win. They're probably going to have to try and stay all together and make sure they don't get surrounded. It is 4 versus 7, just making sure. So they're going to have to do some pretty damn good heroics. They're getting some kills though there, the 5th Shock Infantry. Unfortunately, one of their guys goes down. It's 3 versus 5 now. It's probably going to verse a 1 versus 5, and that will be the game maybe, or no, the round to the 3rd Regiment of Foot. So well played there. Catch us in the next round. G'day everybody, and welcome to the first map of the first round of the second map. Sorry, yes, I forgot. I'm pretty sure there's 3 map battles and every map has 3 rounds. So the first map, which is it's a little bit confusing, but I had it explained to me last night by Yuri. But also the numbers of the battle is increased. I'm pretty sure it's 13 versus 13. Yes, we are still spectating of the Austrians, the 5th Shock Infantry going up still against the 3rd Regiment of Foot. Nothing has changed there. But no, I was having it explained to me last night by Yuri. It's a little bit confusing at first, but now I think I understand it. There's 3 maps that are played, and each map has 3 rounds, and then like it's best out of 3 on those. I'm pretty sure there are 3 designated rounds. And then one in spec. What are you on about? Oh, who cares? And then anyway, yes. Where was I? Someone said something to me in the chat. I thought I was meant to be playing, but oh, no, I'm not meant to be playing at all. So yeah, leave me alone. What I was trying to say was there are 3 maps, 3 rounds on each map. Very, very nice kill there by Uriken, the leader of the 5th Shock Infantry. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 99.5% sure on that. But as you know, if you've ever watched any of my Men of War casts, when I say something's going to happen, or I'm sure on something, I'm most likely wrong. This is a very, very nice tactic that the Shock Infantry conduct as well. They fire and then move to the right hand side of the line. I haven't really seen anyone else do that. They've got 2 kills at the moment though, the 5th Shock Infantry over the 3rd Regiment of Foot, but I think the 3rd Regiment of Foot have got some volleys off and have taken out at least 1 soldier at the moment. All the shots just there have been ineffective. The 5th Shock Infantry uses fire at will, and it completely fails just then, but it looks like they've got a kill. Very nice kill by Mush, and very nice kill by Ace. So it looks like it's going kill for kill right now in this volley. The 5th Shock Infantry using the wooden palisade cover very, very well right now. They're getting some kills as well. Best Broseph gets his first kill of the night, I'm pretty sure, and the 3rd Regiment of Foot has been forced to retreat away. So very, very nice work there by the 5th Shock Infantry, making sure that those guys had to back off. And yes, it is 11 versus 9 right now, so they do have a 2-man number advantage right now, the 5th Shock Infantry. So yeah, they hold a pretty strong position in the first round of this second map. I'm pretty sure there's 3 maps, as I said before. 3 rounds, 3 maps, so it's probably a lot simpler than I'm making it out to be, but the point system is where it confuses the absolute crap out of me. Anyway, people are just confirming that I'm recording, so that was good. Thank you. Even though I said, everybody, I'm recording this match, people still don't know whether I'm recording or not, but no, I am. And if you're watching this game, well, I am. But it looks like we're going to have a 14 versus 14 next round as well, so that's going to be very, very handy. They line up here. I don't really know where the 3rd Regiment of Foot are. I think they might be in the bushes. I don't really know where they're... Oh, there you go. They're behind that building. The 3rd Regiment of Foot pops its head around the corner now. That line of 9 men is just taking off behind those bushes. So I hope the 5th Shock Infantry gets all their guns reloaded, and then they might move out. Yes, they definitely are moving out, but it looks like they're scattering, though. I don't really know if they're meant to be in a line or not, but... yeah, okay, now they're in a line. That was kind of weird. They just started scattering, then they went back in. Maybe it was a little bit of a miscommunication there from the leader, but nobody takes a shot at the 3rd Regiment of Foot. I think the 3rd Regiment of Foot right now are coming out and then going back in. They're kind of fainting, but in a line formation, as in they're coming out, trying to make the 5th Shock Infantry waste some shots, at least maybe 2 or 3 guys waste their shots, and then that would mean that, say, the Shock Infantry only has 8 guys reloaded compared to the 9 of the Regiment of Foot, so they can fire off more shots. But hey, there they are. They're hiding in those bushes. They line up for the shots. Nobody gets a kill just there. geez, from both regiments, I thought somebody would have got a kill, but absolutely no one. So now there's a bit of silence while everybody reloads, and then the regiment of foot pops up on the right-hand side here. 5 guys actually have come up to take some shots. No, it is 4 guys. They're taking some beautiful shots just there, some beautiful flank shots. Only get one. Rebound got one. Lupal got one. A nice headshot there on Corporal Jones. And the 3rd Regiment of Foot has done very well. They've split off into 2 groups to try and, I guess, encircle the 5th Shock Infantry, but they're going to have to retreat now and definitely reload and regroup after that one. It is 8 versus 7, so the 3rd Regiment of Foot out of those 2 engagements gained 1 peg back. It was 11 versus 9 before going into that engagement, but now it is 9 versus 8, if I can remember. No, 8 versus 7, if I can remember what I said 3 seconds ago, but no. Also, these teams are 2nd and 3rd on the regiment ladder at the moment. Actually, I'm going to link the LCC, the Lounge Chair Carnage website, and also all the regiment information that I had linked to me last night, the table and the fixture and the points and everything and how it works. So yes, it's actually very, very interesting. I didn't know that it would be this in depth, but kudos to the guys who made the competition and stuff like that. It looks like the 5th Shock Infantry is going to be happy enough to just sit back here, because I will admit the 3rd has been doing most of the camping throughout this game. I don't know if that's their favourite tactic, but the 5th Shock Infantry has been on the offensive pretty much every single game. I don't know if that's just the unluckiness on the side that they spawn on the map, but the 3rd Regiment of Foot is definitely camping it up right now in pretty much all the maps. There's some shots fired, nobody gets a kill, unfortunately, and once again we see volleys that nobody gets a kill, so this game is going to go on even longer at the moment. As Enzo says wreck, I don't really know what that means, but I'm happy that he's dead, because as I said in the last round, he was the one who killed me, or team killed me, in the line battle, in my first day in the life of a 5th Shock Infantry soldier video, so I was pretty unhappy there that I got team killed, but oh well, I'm pretty sure I stabbed my own soldier in that, so a bit of karma right there, but hopefully the next volley of shots is a little bit more interesting, as in more soldiers die. Preferably for the 3rd Regiment of Foot, as I am in the 5th Shock Infantry. I'd like to see these guys win. Very, very good, but I'm pretty sure Strat might be heading to the 3rd Regiment of Foot. I've tried to convince him to come to the 5th Shock Infantry, but I think that he said that he would not like to have 2 casters in the same regiment, which is fair enough, I guess. So there is a caster for some other regiment out there, and I think the 3rd Regiment of Foot is the games that he's casted at the moment, so I think that's where he might be headed. Anyway, heading around the back of the house, surprise, surprise, the 3rd Regiment has probably run to the other side of the house. So there you go, they've popped out on the right-hand side in the bushes, and there's some shots from the Austrians. They get 1 kill there, very nice kill by the Shock Infantry. Probably want to move out, bit of sitting ducks right now for the 3rd Regiment to line up. They get some hits on the 5th Shock Infantry, but don't get any kills once again. How could they not? I don't understand how these guys are not getting kills. They're 2nd and 3rd on the regiment ladder, and now the Shock Infantry is going to move off again. It's a very, very hit and miss game. I've noticed Napoleonic Wars throughout all my skirms. Oh, I haven't really done a skirm. This is a scrim, sorry, not skirm. And I haven't really competed in a regiment battle, but I've noticed in the line battles it's very, very hard to get a kill from very close range when you would expect to actually get a kill. But anyway, the Austrians are now moving up around the right-hand side of the little farm, or just very, very tall vined a vineyard farm thing at the moment. But anyway, there's the 3rd Regiment of Foot. They fire off a shot. Hopefully they can pull up and face left and get off some shots. All the 3rd shots have missed right now. They need to find those shots quickly. They get another kill. Very nice headshot there by Mr. Sheath. And unfortunately, none of the other regiment guys go down. So none of the other 3rd Regiment of Foot guys go down. So that means it is 8 versus 5. So the Shock Infantry do hold the numbers in this battle, but it looks like the 3rd Regiment are just going to camp again. So 3rd Regiment of Foot are just going to camp behind the building again. So this makes for slightly boring viewing, but I'm pretty sure that this is the norm in all regiment games, as I'm used to Men of War, which is usually a little bit more high action. But as I'm getting used to this Napoleonic Wars casting, the Austrian Shock Infantry are moving around to the left-hand side. I cannot see anyone. I don't know if they can see anyone, but I've noticed that they are much better spotting at than myself on this game. They're much better at spotting than myself on this game, as I completely struggle. They can see things in the bushes that I cannot, obviously because my eyes are not accustomed to Napoleonic Wars at the moment. I do know what to look for. I don't know if there's a strategy to seeking out enemies in bushes and stuff like that, but they do it a lot better than me. It's probably just hours spent on the game. Pretty sure that was the 3rd Regiment of Foot just there. No, it's not. That's a torch. So there you go. That shows my beautiful ability to see things that are going on or spot the enemy. There we go. They're right behind me. Jeez, if I looked around the back of me for 3 seconds, I would have known where they're going. The shock infantry's holding off on their shots. They're taking some shots. Some guys are lining up. Aiming their shots a little bit better. Here we go. Regiment of Foot is pulling up right now. They have got one soldier in the 5th Shock Infantry, but very, very nice kill by Mischievous Badger, who absolutely dominated the melee battle we had earlier in that little friendly, and he got himself a kill, so very, very nice work there. It looks like it might turn into a melee, maybe, unless the 3rd Regiment are going to hide behind that tree. It's 4 versus 7 right now. 3 number advantage to the Shock Infantry, and yes, they are behind that tree, and it looks like they're going to try and scoot away around the back. The Shock Infantry, I don't know if they've deliberately split up into 2 lines, but no, now they've all reformed as one. Here we go. The regiment are running back into that little vineyard area, or that little... It's not really wheat, as I've usually seen. Oh, here we go. This is going to be some close quarters combat. Will there be a bayonet charge? I think they're going to take some shots. No, they're not going to take some shots at all. It's just going to go straight into bayonet charge. I'm pretty sure they were lined up in 3, so they could have. Shock Infantry look like they have the number advantage, and obviously they do, as there's more white guys around than red guys. And it's 2 versus 7 right now. Now 1 versus 7. He's really got no chance. It's just a random shot there. I don't think he was ever going to get that kill. And he takes down 1. Can he do a bit of a Rambo and take them all on? No, he can't. So that is the end of the first round of the second map. Let's get ready for the second. And here we are back with the second round on the second map. A very, very long first round, and it's 14 versus 14 right now. I don't know if this is the biggest that you can have in a regiment battle, but it's the biggest I've seen so far. The second biggest I've ever seen was the 12 versus 12 that happened on the last map, and also in the Crew of the Flying Moonfish and the 9th Vanguard game. It looks like they're going to try and get off some early shots here. The Austrians lining up, and they do. They get 1 kill out of that. Riv, very, very nice kill just there. The Regiment of Foot are going to charge up closer. They took their long-range shots, and they're now going to charge up closer, try and get some close-range shots on the Shock Infantry. Or maybe they're going to go a bayonet charge very, very early. They're going to take some shots, though, here, the Shock Infantry. Hopefully they can get a few kills before the bayonet warfare starts. It looks like the 3rd Regiment of Foot are going to be very, very aggressive this game, which is something that I haven't seen in the last 4 rounds from them, either on the first map or this map. Jeez, the Shock Infantry just cutting them up right now, get 4 kills. They've got a 5-man advantage. This is sick. God, I think the Shock Infantry might have this one in a very, very quick second game, but it looks like this is where the main melee action is going to be. There's a 2 versus 1 over there. I won't watch that. I'll watch where the main chunk of the action is going to be. The Austrians or the 5th Shock Infantry are moving, spreading around. Very nice kill by Uriken and Peri there. Enzo gets a kill, so that's not good as I want him to die, but hey, it looks like I actually kind of thought the 3rd Regiment was coming back there, but it does not look like they're going to be able to do it now. The 3rd Regiment of Foot are just slowly dwindling to the superior numbers of the Shock Infantry. There's still a nice 1v1 going on out the back. It looks like this guy's going to have to fight off 5+ enemies right now, and he's just in the middle of the circle, and he just gets absolutely dominated. But here is a very interesting battle. I probably should have stayed out on this side, because this has gone on for a lot longer than what I expected. He tries to pull up and take the shot, misses his shot, and I think Best Broseph was maybe the guy that he took the shot at, so he's very, very happy that he missed. Here come the Austrian 5th Shock Infantry reinforcements. Here comes a shot from a Austrian soldier, which unfortunately misses, but the 5th Shock Infantry just surround him, and I think that's going to be the game. There you go, and they're 2-0, so they've won this map, and I'm pretty sure that we will play the next one. Catch you in the 3rd round. Welcome back to the 3rd round, and yes, as I picked up, there was a little bit of shooting out of the 3-man line by both teams, actually, the Shock Infantry and the 3rd Regiment of Foot, as that little skirmish just happened there, and the 3rd has to drop a player. It's 15 versus 14. Jeez, if the 5th Shock Infantry were able to get another guy in, that would have been very, very impressive. Some very, very big line battles. They're struggling to line up. Right now, the Shock Infantry just struggling with the fundamentals. One guy drops out to make it 14 versus 14. They've lined up in a nice, beautiful line now. If they struggled with the basic maths that was needed, but they get 3 kills. God. And the 3rd Regiment of Foot just get 1. So that's a pretty crappy trade-off there for the 3rd Regiment of Foot. The 5th Shock Infantry lined up and was able to, I think they were able to reload then and move out, getting away from the 3rd Regiment of Foot, probably going to run all the way to the back of the map and then maybe send up. Well, it looks like they're going to try and take cover behind this little sandbag and cannon fortifications right now. The 3rd Regiment of Foot is not following. Will the 3rd Regiment of Foot follow, though? Because they have been the more defensive team in recent times, but no, they're going to all line up behind their sandbags and cannon emplacements. I think the 3rd Regiment of Foot is actually coming up. Yes, they're being much more aggressive in the last 2 rounds. This is the 3rd round on the 3rd map. So, in the 3rd round of the 2nd map. Jeez, I still can't get my head around it. And I said it was basic. Jeez, shows how much of a genius I am. But it looks like some 3rd Regiment of Foot soldiers are approaching on the left-hand side. The shock infantry are taking shots out of line because they know they've got that cover advantage where they can just duck behind the cover and reload with ease. On the right-hand side, there's also some more guys advancing. It looks like 6 guys out there, or 7 3rd Regiment of Foot soldiers advancing out there. But everyone has now moved to this left-hand side to try and take out this small skirmish group before they become a big problem and then deal with the guys behind later. And it looks like that's what they're going to try and do. They're going to try and really charge these guys down, maybe line up face left, or left face, sorry, and take out all these guys, or maybe they might try and bayonet charge them. It looks like the 3rd Regiment of Foot is reloaded. Don't know, they're definitely going to line up and try and take some close range shots. They get 1 kill. I don't know if they'll get another, but no, here comes the bayonet charge, and it looks like this little skirmish group might be counted in the end. It looks like that guy's just going to get stabbed to death in a bush, and nice kill there by this little 5th Shock Infantry line. But there is the other 3rd Shock Infantry group who have been able to get some very, very nice kills. By the way, I think it might be the guy back there who's getting all the melee kills, but no, there's some very nice gun kills going as well by the 3rd Regiment of Foot, and it looks like it's going to be 4 versus 5, so the 3rd Regiment has some oh, that's very unlucky. He was charging in to get a bit of a bayonet kill, but I think that kind of changed the game dramatically as someone takes a shot out of 3. You're supposed to be in a line of 3 to take a shot, my friend, but it doesn't really matter as it's 2 versus whatever it is. Osric kills a teammate, but I suppose it doesn't really matter at this stage because it's 5 versus 1. He gets a stab in the back. That is the 2nd map done. Let's get ready for the 1st round of the 3rd map, and this is going to be the decider. G'day everybody and welcome to the now 3rd map, the 1st round of the 3rd map. I crashed there so I didn't catch the very beginnings of those guys moving out, but I think they might have waited for me. If they did, I love you all very much. It's 14 versus 14. The Austrians once again, the 5th Shock Infantry will be following. Strat, as I said earlier, or AU Pro Gaming, is following the other side, so I'll link all his goodies so you guys can watch that. And this is the decider. The 1st map went to the 3rd Regiment of Foot. The 2nd map went 3-0 to the 5th Shock Infantry. The first one was 2-1 to the 3rd Regiment of Foot. And now this is the complete decider. So whoever wins this will take the spoils. And I'm pretty sure we'll leapfrog, or not leapfrog, the 5th Shock Infantry currently in 2nd place. The 3rd Regiment of Foot are currently in 3rd, and I think if the 3rd Regiment of Foot win, they might be able to leapfrog the 5th Shock Infantry and move closer to the crew of the Flying Moonfish, who are the dominant guys in this Reg v Reg League, I guess I could call it. I don't know the technical name for it, but the Reg v Reg League. There you go. The 3rd Regiment are using their little house tactics at the moment, hiding behind there, so probably not the most sportsmanlike. I don't really know if that's a genuine tactic or not, but they've seemed to have done it nearly every round. There's a house involved, but here we go. The 3rd Regiment of Foot popping out of the left of this house. Looks like the Austrians are going to try and flank all the way around, but no, the 3rd Regiment of Foot have run back behind the house, so nice work there. There are some guys in there. They might take a shot or two. No, they won't. The 3rd Regiment of Foot guy pops around the left-hand side corner of the house, and then everyone has run back around to the other side of the other building on the other side of this little farm thing. So if I see more buildings skirmishing, I'm going to be a little bit unhappy, but I suppose this is standard play of the Napoleonic Wars. The 9th Vanguard versus the crew of the Flying Moonfish was much more open and much more interesting in my opinion, but it looks like they're going to take some shots. Very nice shot there by Rebound, getting a kill on Bauer, but Corporal Phillips also gets a kill on Rebound, so that was a little bit unlucky. Oh, here we go. There's some sneaky 3rd Regiment of Foot guys around the side of this house, getting on some beautiful flank shots here. Will surely cut up the 5th Shock Infantry. No! Only one gets a hit, so that's very, very unfortunate, but the 3rd Regiment of Foot guys are going to suck this Shock Infantry in, have the guys around the corner reloaded. They're going to get some beautiful side shots right now off at the Austrian 5th Shock Infantry. No, I don't think they're going to be able to, as the Shock Infantry has narrowly avoided lots of shots. They're also going to get some bayonet kills. The 3rd Regiment of Foot is trying to get out of there, so they don't have to engage in bayonet battles. Geez, that's very, very interesting. I like building skirmishing now. There's lots of deaths just there, and now the melee erupts, or the melee erupts. Just guys throwing bayonets everywhere. I think the 3rd Regiment of Foot has the upper hand in this one. You can see the kill feed is just constantly 3rd Regiment of Foot. Very, very well played by the 3rd Regiment. They take the first game, or the first round on the 3rd map, 1-0, or obviously 1-0, but yes, they win it. So let's get ready for the 2nd round. 2nd round now underway of the 3rd map, the decider, the 3rd Regiment of Foot. I nearly said crew of the Flying Moonfish, or the crew of the Flying Mountainfish, but no, the 3rd Regiment of Foot currently is up 1-0, and they are square 1-1 at the moment out of the 2 maps that have been played. The 2nd map was won by the Austrians. The first map was won by the UK. The UK is the 3rd Regiment of Foot, and the Austrians are the 5th Shock Infantry, the regiment that I am enlisted in. So that's why every single one of my things at the moment have been, or my cast at the moment, or my spectating in rounds, have been from the Shock Infantry side, and Strat AU Pro Gaming is on the other side. I think I've mentioned that for the 4th or 5th time, but it doesn't matter. The more publicity I give him, the more publicity I hope he gives me. So, yeah, hopefully that works. But where are those pesky 3rd Regiment of Foot? They're all behind those buildings again, so that was very, very well played. They sucked the 5th Shock Infantry in and just got absolutely annihilated when they all just lined up beside the house, waited for the 5th Shock Infantry to come around the corner, and they just tore them up with bullets. So that was very, very well played there, or tore them up with cartridges. So that was very, very nice play. But the 3rd Regiment of Foot there, they're popping out behind the buildings, just taking some long-range shots. Don't rate their chances highly of getting some kills, but oh well, I guess if you can take them and you know you have enough time to reload, you may as well. I don't know if they're lined up in threes there, Mr. Admin. Probably should check that out. I'm always going for the 5th Shock Infantry guys. As we go through the tree and come out the other side, and look at that. There's still a beautiful line. Is it 15 versus 15? No, it's still 14 versus 14. The last game was 14 versus 14 as well. This is the biggest regiment battle I have seen, so that means 28 players, which means possibly 27 deaths, as there's always going to be the last man standing who could epically take out the game for one team if they do so. But it looks like the 5th Shock Infantry is going to line up on the outside of the buildings right now, and they're just going to take off again. I thought they were just going to line up there and wait for 3rd Regiment of Foot to actually come out and face them, but no, they're going to let they're just going to flank back around the other side of the buildings right now. So I think I might do a little bit of a cut. Actually, no, I'm not going to do a cut. I'm going to record the whole regiment battle so everyone can see what goes on. You can listen to my dreary voice the whole time. I think I might start doing cuts in future regiment battles. I'm not too good at it at the moment, and I don't really have enough time to do editing and stuff like that as of right now. But no, in the future I definitely will do jump cuts to say when the 5th Shock Infantry goes bayonet charging into the 3rd Regiment of Foot lines, gets absolutely annihilated again. I might just skip all this skirmishing running around. I probably should just maybe stop recording and then start recording when something interesting happens and start talking about it again, but I won't do that. I'll make sure every single second of the game is captured as I zoom a little bit faster there. I didn't even double tap W, so that was very, very handy. Yes, double tapping W makes you move that little bit quicker. The 3rd Regiment of Foot guys around the right hand side of the house are taking some casual shots. They get the first kill of the game as well, the first kill of the second round of the 3rd map. Jeez, I'm still struggling to work out whether it's the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round at the moment, but no, the Austrians have lined up. The 5th Shock Infantry taking some shots. They've got the heavy cover advantage just there. I really don't know why they're engaging in this, the Shock Infantry. I don't think they're going to be able to get a kill on the 3rd Regiment of Foot. They need to retreat, regroup, reload, and recome, as they need to move around the side of the buildings and try and flank them out of there again. No, it looks like they're just going to zip around the tree and take off to the left-hand side. They're going to line up again. I hope all the soldiers are reloaded. Those 4 guys behind the barrels just there, I'm pretty sure it's 4 guys. Yes, I can see 4 heads. So the 4 guys behind those barrels are just peskily hiding, and now they run off to the right-hand building just there, where I'm sure the rest of the 3rd Regiment of Foot is hiding. It looks like we're just going to see some more tactics that I find a little bit questionable from the 3rd Regiment of Foot, but no, they've come out into the open. I guess the building skirmishing, as I've said, is a legitimate tactic. I don't like it too much, as it makes the game a little bit boring, but I suppose it is a test of skill and patience. But here we go, there's some guys up in the wheat field right now for the 3rd Regiment of Foot. I don't think anyone from the Austrians, the 5th Shock Infantry, has seen them, so they're going to have to take off to the left-hand side of the buildings. It is 12 versus 14, so yes, there have been no kills by the Shock Infantry. The 3rd Regiment has got every single kill in this game, as I'll just take a beautiful look at the countryside as I'm really running out of things to talk about. Here we go, there might be some action here. I see some smoke, clouds of smoke back there from 3rd Regiment shots that have been taken. I can hear some more firing. I think that might be more 3rd Regiment shots that have been taken. Yes, I can see the bullets landing or scattering around the feet of the 5th Shock Infantry, and I think they're just zigzagging and getting closer and closer, and maybe trying for a bayonet charge. They need to get out of the way of this volley that's going to happen probably in the coming seconds. There you go, there's 1 kill there. They needed to get out of that, the way of that ASAP, and the 5th Shock Infantry are going to line up behind this building. Going to duck out and take some shots. 3 guys fall around the corner. They get 1 kill just there. They need to get maybe 2 or 3 out of this little engagement. I don't think they're going to be able to, though, as they're going to have to duck behind the house and reload. As I'll get on top of the house, actually, have a bit of a look around. I can see a lot of the 3rd Regiment of Foot guys around this corner of the building. Yes, that is where a main chunk of the soldiers are. The 5th Shock Infantry are now coming around the right-hand side or the back side of the building. They've probably seen the 3rd Regiment guys over there, and I think there might be some little guys who pop around the corner again, take their shot, and run back around so they can reload. That is obviously the building skirmishing tactics. Someone's just stabbed a hole in a window. I really don't know what that's going to do for you. Actually, no, I guess you could probably shoot through the window or maybe even line up in the house. That would be pretty cool. Somebody takes a shot. Pretty useless though. He didn't hit anything. Clearly as there was nothing in the kill feed, and I didn't hear any out of the soldiers, which is the noise that they usually make every time they get hit by a bullet or a bayonet. There's a sneaky 3rd guy just poking his head out around that corner, waiting for someone to step out and maybe take a shot over that side of the building. Someone getting in here would be pretty interesting. I guess you could run into here and maybe fire out of the buildings. That would be pretty cool. Also, I've noticed that the buildings do not protect from rain, so there's no point in having a roof on them at all. The games that I've seen that are raining, I've zoomed inside the house and you can see all of the rain entering the house. So I guess that's not very, very good. You need a lot of buckets to keep all the water off your floor, or maybe just a big giant bathtub that covers your complete floor. Yes, I'm talking about bathtubs in Napoleonic War regiment battle, because nobody's doing anything. As a lot of people are saying, there's a Mexican standoff. The 3rd Regiment of Foot are not coming out. So I guess the 5th Shock Infantry just say, hey, we'll play your tactics. If you guys want to sit behind buildings, so will we. And I would probably advise maybe the 3rd Regiment of Foot maybe trying to devise a plan to succumb and maybe come around this area of the wheat field as I'm pointing on my screen. You guys can't see that. And maybe this area of the wheat field and maybe cause a crossfire on the Austrians, but it doesn't look like they even want to do that. It doesn't look like they even want to do that. They could probably line up in that wheat field over there, get these guys to run around. I'm pretty sure they could time sync a firing line. I'm sure they could do that for the guys coming around on the right hand side and the guys coming around the left hand side to take shots at the shock infantry soldiers, but no. I guess we're just going to sit here for a bit. I think I might actually cut until something actually happens, or it looks a little bit more interesting now. Some guys are starting to line up, so we could be blessed with a shot. Actually, I don't think we've seen a shot for a couple minutes as well, but no, no, here we go. The 3rd Regiment of Foot is coming out. So look at this. They are being on the offensive. They're going on the offensive and actually doing something right now. Is they going to line up behind the windows, maybe try and take some shots through the windows? Yes, I can see he's got his gun, I guess, sticking into the window. Oh, beautiful kill through the windows just there from the 3rd Regiment of Foot. And I'll jump around to the 5th Shock Infantry side of the building. Somebody just got kicked or something. No, somebody just got killed for being out of line. So it looks like somebody got slayed for being out of line. So I guess that was a bit of a trade-off. It's 10-12 right now, as in the Shock Infantry are 10. 3rd Regiment of Foot are currently 12. So it is two man advantage to the 3rd Regiment of Foot. They have just got 3 guys on this side of the building. They're all lining up in 3 to make sure if one of them takes a shot, they will be able to get the kill. Oops, I just kind of got my mouse a little bit. Don't stand in the frickin' window. You'll get your head shot off. Didn't you see the last guy that did? Hey, there's the guy that got slayed. We'll look at his dirty mustache, maybe? No, he doesn't have a mustache. He has a weird face, though. Very, very warped face. I had a lot of fun customizing my guy's face, actually. Put a bit of wheat in his mouth as well, so looks like a really outback redneck American, but also, I noticed that the things you can do with the face are very, very funny at times as well, and I'm guessing a lot of these guys put a lot of effort into making their faces as weird and funny as they can. The shock infantry guys take a shot, they miss. I hope that they were in a line of 3, and the 3rd Regiment of Foot guys are just going to skirmish through the building, so there's nothing much interesting happening right now. They're just constantly taking shots through the building. Yes, there's another shot. I think it might have ricocheted off the frame of the window. Nothing too exciting. There's just 5th shock infantry guys just kind of bouncing around here. The 3rd Regiment of Foot guys are over on that side. Just they've all lined up. They've all lined up here for some reason. Maybe they're expecting the 3rd Regiment of Foot to actually attack for once. Hey, they did it twice. I suppose they did it twice last game and got absolutely destroyed, so that's probably why they're not doing it again. There's some guys in the wheat fields. Hopefully the 5th Shock Infantry can get off some shots, because the 3rd Regiment of Foot has just been doing these light building skirmishing tactics. There you go. Rebound and Ali squaring up. 2 kills for the Shock Infantry, and the 3rd Regiment of Foot soldier goes cowering back behind that building. I think there's some guys on this side as well. Here we go. They're going to try and bayonet charge and get the upper hand right now, but I think they're going to be dragged out into the open. No, they're not. Very well played there by the Shock Infantry. That's what happened last round. They got dragged into the city and just completely swarmed by 3rd Regiment of Foot soldiers, and unfortunately did not did not do too well, but here comes the 3rd Regiment of Foot on the right-hand side of the building. Maybe they've realised that the 5th Shock Infantry is reloading. They're lining up for some shots. They're going to get off some shots. Maybe they get 1 or 2 kills. They just get 1. Unfortunately, 3 guys fired. It's just people standing on opposite sides of corners right now. So, very, very interesting, actually, at the moment. The game is heated up just a little bit. There's some guys poking their noses around that corner. I think the 5th Shock Infantry has the number advantage as well. Yes, it's 10-8. So all of a sudden the 3rd Regiment of Foot are on the back foot, even though they've been on the back foot for pretty much the whole game. And I mean, the whole game is in the first 2 rounds as well. They're taking some shots through the windows, not getting lucky with some kills. It looks like the 3rd Regiment of Foot is just going to cower behind this side of the building. The 5th Shock Infantry is going to cower behind this side of the building, gets a kill through the window, or maybe it was a kill around the corner. No, I'm pretty sure it was a kill through the window. So very, very well played there by Captain Conroy, as I read your name as it fades away. The 5th Shock Infantry also line up as to cover this flank of the building, but it does not really look like anything's going to happen. I wonder if I can get like a top-down view. Oh, here we go. This is kind of cool. Let's just have a top-down view so I can describe what goes on a little bit easier, so I know where both regiments are. But unfortunately, that roof is a little bit blocking. There we go. That looks perfect. As I pretty much just leave my camera here the whole time, I may as well. And we can see when guys take shots through the window, it looks like the 5th Shock Infantry are much more content with the 3rd Regiment coming around the corner, and the 3rd Regiment are much more content with engaging through the windows. Nice kill by Corporal Phillips there. Gets a kill on the 5th Shock Infantry soldier known as Mischievous Badger. Yes, that was an R in the end. I thought that was a Y. I think I called him Mischievous Badgie earlier on. But hey, the 3rd Regiment of Foot are moving around this side of the buildings, and they get a nice kill. So it's currently 7-8. The 3rd Regiment of Foot in this very slow building skirmish warfare are currently winning. So 8-7 right now. A lot of people saying this is intense. Yes, this is definitely heating up. There was a little bit of a boring Mexican standoff before, but no, now it is definitely heating up. We're getting into the serious end. 5th Shock Infantry cannot lose this. Cannot lose this, or they lose the round completely, and that means the 3rd Regiment of Foot might be able to jump them on the ladder. So, yes, you do not want that happening, as I'll just kind of get into this view, and then I'll just zoom out again, as I'm just having a little bit of fun playing with the camera. But no, both sides of the buildings are completely controlled by opposite teams right now. The 3rd Regiment of Foot is still just kind of ducking and weaving a little bit, trying to get some Austrians to shoot through the windows, and probably trying to get some shots through the windows themselves. They have done very, very well there. There's only 12 minutes left in this game as well. 12 minutes and 20 seconds. This is going to be a very, very long video. It's going to take a very, very long time to upload as well. This probably won't be out for a very, very long time. But we can see what goes on. Ooh, there might have been an opportunity for some shots just there from the Austrians, but unfortunately they did not take them, as they are more content with just hiding around the corner. The 3 guys move out on the left-hand side of the building to maybe take some shots off of the Austrians. One guy takes his shot, runs back to the right-hand side of the line, or the left-hand side of the line, actually, if you're looking from their view. Take some shots. There's some guys in the open. Come on, 5th Shock Infantry. Surely you could have taken some shots just there. There you go. There's 1 or 2, but unfortunately they do not get the kills, and the 3rd Regiment of Foot will hide back around the other side of the building. The 5th Shock Infantry being much more defensive. Here we go. There's a lot of guys coming around the corner. Why would you charge around the corner like that? That was a little bit silly. That was a waste of a life there. Captain Conroy, who got a very nice kill earlier, got killed by Riv. And now approaching on the left-hand side of the building. Will they just run around in numbers again? That was probably not the best tactic to do, but Rebound gets a nice kill, so that means 7-6 right now. 3rd Regiment of Foot are currently down by a soldier. The numbers game is so important when it comes to the melee fights. There is 11 minutes and 13 seconds left on the clock. And this one looks like it's obviously not going to be a stalemate. You cannot have a draw, but a stalemate is in progress. It's very, very slow, just slow kill for killing. Nice skirmishing, nice guys popping around the corner. 5th Shock Infantry are hiding around the back of this building a little bit more. The 3rd Regiment are the ones trying to be a little bit more aggressive at the moment, which I suppose they kind of need to do, as the last few games they have been a little bit defensive. But the 5th Shock Infantry have got a nice little formation forming up. The 3rd Regiment have split into 2-3 groups, so they can probably approach around each side of the building. I think one guy is trying to do some spotting through the windows as well, so they've got 3 guys lined up on each of the window, and now the 3rd Regiment of Foot retreats back around to the other window, and I don't think the 5th Shock Infantry has noticed this yet, as they're still hiding behind the building. No, now they have, and now they're off in hot pursuit. Will the 3rd Regiment of Foot pop back out? One guy pops back out. Will he take a shot? No, he won't. He still wants a shot. And here we go. The rest of the line is coming around now. The 3-4 soldiers from the Regiment of Foot are coming around, and the 5th Shock Infantry is going to probably run and hide behind this building. Some shots are taken, but no hits and no kills just there. Here comes the 5th Shock Infantry. If the 3rd Regiment of Foot pop their nose out around this corner, they're going to get their heads completely blown off. Oh, there's a shot just there. Very nice kill by Ace. Gets Sheath. So very, very nice work there by 3rd Regimental Foot. There's some shots taken. And how did they not get a kill? That guy was just literally standing there. And here it comes. The epic melee fight at the end of the game. I think the 5th Shock Infantry are down, though. The 5th Shock Infantry are probably going to lose. And it's probably going to be the game to the regiment. The 3rd Regiment of Foot right now. The Austrians are completely outnumbered. It's 1 versus 5 right now. I don't think he's going to be able to win this. It looks like the game, the complete match, will go to the 3rd Regiment of Foot. So very, very well played there. They get the map. I don't know if the last round is going to be played, but let's have a look. And yes, the last round is going to be played, and they say 2-1 overall win to the 3rd Regiment of Foot. So yes, this game is pretty much just a dead rubber right now. Dead grubber, sorry. I don't really know if everyone's taking it seriously. It's 15 versus 13, so I guess it's a little bit uneven. I don't know if the complete teams are going to be absolutely dedicated. There's now 16 versus 13. I'm pretty sure that this is just a little bit of a fun round. I don't think there's anything really going on. No, they still want the teams balanced, so I think we might be still playing the 3rd round right now. So that was very, very good there. There's 15 versus 13. Still unfortunate. Unfortunate the 5th Shock Infantry lost, but still unbalanced right now. There you go. The 5th Shock Infantry are going to get some kills. Kills Notes, Enzo. So that was good. Very, very good work there by Pieri, who killed Notes. That was very, very fun and nice of him to deliver my wish. I said to all the guys, just kill Notes as many times as you can, but it looks like the 3rd Regiment of Foot are just absolutely dominant in the melee right now. I thought the 5th Shock Infantry were pretty damn good at melee, but it looks like the 3rd Regiment are completely dominating in every single battle. There's a team kill from the 5th Shock Infantry, guys. No, actually, it doesn't look like the case. I think it might be 5 versus 1. So the drummer is probably just going to get stabbed in the face, and that will be the end of the game. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, view, comment, blah, blah, blah if you want some more. Very, very nice win to the 3rd Regiment of Foot. Unfortunately, the 5th Shock Infantry couldn't get the job done. I will link strats goodies in the description. I will catch you guys all next time.